Good afternoon. It's Lois at Travel Time, and we're happy to invite you today to join us for Thursday's Travel Talk with Travel Time. And today we're joined by Louise Paquette from the Jamaica Tourist Board. Louise is going to give us some information about Jamaica, about how things are going right now in Jamaica, and she'll share with us some photos too that will whet our appetites for when we're ready to travel to Jamaica again. Welcome to Travel Time, Louise.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. Sort of wishing I was in Jamaica right now. It's 32 degrees and sunny.
Yes, that sounds like a great place to be, given that fall is already up on us here.
I know, and it hit hard. I'm based in Montreal, and I don't know if it was the same thing for Newfoundland, but we had freezing weather last week. So yeah, looking at those temperatures in Jamaica and just wishing we were there.
I guess there could be a few of our listeners too from across the U.S. and some of those are still enjoying summer temperatures, but it'll change, I'm sure. And Jamaica is always a welcome site anyway for no matter where people are based because of so many reasons. And you're going to share some of those with us, I know.
It's going to be my pleasure to share them. So should we get going?
Yeah, sure.
Can you see my screen?
Not yet.
Hold on, let's get to it. This new technology is so much fun. Here we go.
Yeah,
so
here we
go in presentation mode. Here we go. So thank you so much for having us today. I think before we really start talking about the destination, which is so much fun, let's get the more serious aspect out of the way. As you know, being a professional in the travel industry, Jamaica opened its doors to international visitors June 15. It's going extremely well, but there are certain measures in place. So you do need a travel authorization before traveling to Jamaica. So the best place to get this document is on our website at visitjamaica.com. And then there'll be this window that will pop up. And then you just from there, click on that and it will tell you all of the information that you need to know. Just know that there are revised on a regular basis. So at present, the measures that are in place, the protocols are from August 1st to September the 30th. So October 1st, there should be some revisions to that. We have different, there are different protocols in place for different categories of travelers. So if you're going simply on vacation, as a Canadian, you do not need a negative COVID test. But you do need to fill out the form. So you just fill out the form. Within 24 hours, you should receive your travel authorization. And I know, Lois, you'll remind them that they do need that document to travel. They could be.
We have been taking some questions on this for sure. And just to point out that Canadians do not need the negative COVID test, but that Americans do.
Yes, yes. So that's an important note to make. You will receive by email, so you can either print the travel authorization or have it on your phone when you're about to embark on the aircraft. The other point that's important is that all of the hotels also need to meet certain protocols. So if you want to know which hotel, just scroll down to the resource section and it will tell you when you just, hit on that window, it will tell you the hotels that are presently open and meeting the requirements in place. It is not any more complicated than that. So visitors are having a blast, they're having fun while being safe. And I think that's the most important thing, is making sure that our visitors, our guests are safe, as well as the staff at the hotels.
We have had some successful trips already since July that we've Travel Time has had some clients that have gone to Jamaica, a number of couples actually, and it's all been very good feedback.
Yes, so it goes extremely well. The measures are in place. And as we mentioned, just verify on a regular basis, because this is a fluid situation. It changes on a regular basis. So just go onto our website, and then you'll have all of the information that you do need. Now,
we make sure to send out that up to date and keep an eye on it for our clients, so that, you know, right up to the time of travel, anything new that changes, we would give the alert to our guest.
No wonder you're one of our top agency in Canada. So let's go and have some fun. So your point of arrival will be at the Sangster International Airport in Montego Bay. It's a very modern airport. At present, unfortunately, in this COVID era, we ask visitors to just stay at the hotel. If you're doing an excursion, it has to be one that is approved, and you just, you know, go to the excursion and you come back to your hotel. So if you're looking at buying souvenirs, you can buy them at the airport. And I don't know if you agree with me, but the boutiques really don't gouge on prices. They're
actually, the Montego Bay Airport is one of the best airports to shop at for souvenirs. And I've found that time and time again over my many trips to Jamaica. They do have a great array of goods and souvenirs and things, gifts that you can buy.
Yeah, no, and it's likewise for me. So, so just go, lots of different restaurants and all of that. If you're buying a package, your transfers are already included. I just kept this slide in case you want to take a taxi. There are two things in Jamaica. You need to make sure that they are a member of JUTA, which is the Jamaican Association of taxis and transfers, and make sure they also have a JTB sticker on their window. And the taxis are exactly like ours in Canadian. When you embark, you know, they'll have a picture and they have a license number and all of that. At the hotel, they have JUTA counters everywhere, so that's not an issue. So, and if you have an issue, just get in touch with Lois. She'll be able to, you know, give you the proper indications. And if she's like me or we talk on a regular basis, I can recommend some drivers, but I'm pretty sure she already has a list of some drivers that she can use. So the thing to remember is about 90 minutes from point A to point B from anywhere that you are. Now, one service, if you really want to end your vacation and spoil yourself, is Club Mobe. So it's the equivalent of a maple leaf lounge that you will find in our Canadian airports. There's a buffet, you have, you know, unlimited drinks, whether alcoholics or none. So there's a waiting lounge, very comfortable, internet access, and that is managed by VIP Attractions. And a lot of our Canadian tour operators actually do offer VIP Attractions, the services that they do have. You've been to the Club Mobe, right?
Yes, and I actually would totally recommend the arrival service as well as the departure service as a package. It's a good investment.
Yes.
And especially right now, the clients that we've had go, and we've actually had them select to have the arrival VIP experience, it does give an advantage through the lineups, because there are some protocols and things that you go through at the airport now for the health screening and so on. But if you have the services of the VIP lounge, they will escort you through. And it does put you in a different line, so you're not waiting as long. Yeah, so definitely, it's always a good investment, but even more so now.
Yes, definitely. So why Jamaica more than other destinations? I would say one of the greatest strengths, it's the location of the island in the Caribbean Sea. So we're assured of good, warm weather all year long. Even in January, it's really, I mean, the averages is 28 to 32. So, you know, you're going to hit a warm weather. You're in the Caribbean Ocean. It's a warm ocean. It's also a calm ocean. So if you're traveling with young children, you don't have to worry about, you know, them being sort of overcome by the waves. The Jamaicans will tell you that it never rains in Jamaica. Did you ever hear that? So they have
liquid sunshine. It's just liquid sunshine.
That's right, liquid sunshine. So Basically, months of May, months of October are the rainy months. But then even again, that's usually when I do travel to the island. Very rarely have I had rain like 7 straight days in a row from morning to night. So it's a little bit cloudier. You'll have a light storm, half an hour, and then poof, it just disappears. And then you can enjoy the beautiful weather. So
One of my answers when somebody asks me about rainy season or months and so on, I just point out the lush tropical landscape of Jamaica. And,
Mhm.
just to be reasonable, how do you think it stays that way? It has to be because it gets regular rain.
Yeah,
So there's
there's
no
no
months of the
sprinkler
year
system.
where you can say there's no rain.
Yep. So Jamaica is renowned for its beauty. That's what we mentioned, lush tropical forest. You also have one of the highest peaks in the Caribbean with the Blue Mountains at over 2,000 meters of altitude. So homes will actually have a fireplace there, just, in these evenings to just warm them up. But then you've got these beautiful savannas and plains just outside of Montego Bay. You would actually think you're in England with just a few palm trees popping up in there, and that's what the countryside looks like. There are over 120 rivers on the island, numerous waterfalls. It's just a haven for bird watchers, our national bird being the doctor's bird. And Jamaica in itself has over 3,000 different types of plants or shrubs. So the colors and the scents will come through. So everywhere that you go, no matter where you are in the island, you'll have a different view, and it's just amazing. And it's also a very rich history. The first people who actually lived on the island, the Arawaks, the Tianos Indian, were unfortunately didn't survive their contacts with the Europeans. But there's a few words in our languages today that is derived from their language. So words like canoe, lantern, hurricane, even barbecue is from their language. And of course, Zamaka, meaning land of wood and water, which is today Jamaica. So the Spanish arrived in 1494, never really settled in Jamaica. It was really the British who saw the the strengths and started all of these sugar cane plantations. So it was one of the richest islands. You had cities like Falmouth that actually had running water before New York did. So,
Wow.
and I think out of many one people, there's so many different people that have come to the island through the centuries, from descendants of the Spanish and the British and the various, African people, and then you'll have the Chinese, the Middle East, the Indian. Hence, out of many, one people being the motto of the island.
That explains the food and all the different tastes and flavors of Jamaica.
That's it. And the people, when you look at them, you can see all of this mixed together in them. So did you know that Jamaica is the one island that has the most Miss Universe title?
Well, that doesn't surprise me because I've seen lots of advertising and information about that.
Yeah, yeah. So lots of different things to do if you're the type of person who likes to go off property and enjoy. I would say that we have almost anything that you can find in, a lot of the different Caribbean destinations, but there's a few that are very specific to Jamaica, and we'll discover them a little bit later on. And of course, for the golf addicts, there are over 11 golf courses on the island. 4 of them are located in the Montego Bay area. So any of your clients play golf?
Oh, absolutely. Golf is often a prerequisite for, especially for the gentlemen, but some of the ladies as well like to enjoy their golf while on vacation.
And you eat well on the island. I think that is one of the greatest strengths, whether you're staying in a 3, a 4, or a 5-star property. And I also encourage you, leave the property. There's a little restaurant in Montego Bay that's called Scotchies, and it serves, jerk chicken the way it should be cooked, so over hot coals. and they put the meat on pimiento branches. And pimiento is the tree that we get the allspice from. It is cooked slowly and it's served with a festival, which is sort of a fried bread. So you'll have jerk chicken, jerk pork, jerk sausages, anything you can jerk now, they will do it. And to me, my second favorite are patties. So that's the fast food for Jamaican. So sort of a little meat pie that you can buy at a store like Juicy Patties or any kind of pastry shop. And in terms of drink, between the beer, the famous Red Stripe, Blue Mountain Coffee, or Appleton, I don't think there's any issues. You're not going to lose weight while you're in Jamaica. You're not going on a diet.
The food is definitely one of the big points that people grow to love, and one of the reasons why a trip to Jamaica, the food is automatically one of the things people think of.
Yeah, and I think the greatest thing with, you know, being able to drink the water from any tap, also the water is safe to drink.
Mm-hmm.
There's no worries or concerned, you know, when you're eating your vegetables or your fruits or your salads or whatever. So, and for me, the other strength, of course, it's beaches.
Yeah, look at those beaches.
I know. We're not known for overly long beaches. I think that's important to note, other than the region of Negril, and we'll look at it a little bit further. But beautiful white sand beaches, and the water is clear. You can walk in for a long, long time before it becomes deep, and it's a calm water. So that's an important point. We're also a big wedding and honeymoon destination. I mean, that is one of our first niche market. And one of the reasons is that it's so easy to get married in Jamaica. We only ask for your birth certificates if it's a first wedding. And there is a wedding coordinator at every hotel that is there to assist.
I would like to say that the wedding market, as well as the honeymoons, I guess the romance travel market is what our strength is with Jamaica, like being the top seller for Jamaica.
Yeah.
We've enjoyed that position for quite a number of years, and it's our weddings and honeymoons that does that.
No, definitely, most definitely. And of course, you've got 6 tourist areas that are all very different from one another. So Montego Bay is the advantages of the city, the historical sites, the museums, the nightlife, the restaurants. Ocho Rios is the soft adventure type of excursion. Negril is our beach destination. Kingston, it is the capital of the country, but it's also the capital of arts and culture. South Coast is what we called off the beaten path. So it's these beautiful orchards, sorry, my French is coming out, orchards that you will find, the scenery. And Port Antonio is really ecotourism. So really depends on the type of vacation that you're looking for. And to me, the greatest strength of the destination are the people, the Jamaicans in itself. They are a warm, loving people. They have this joie de vivre, a really nasty sense of humor. You can see the British heritage behind it. So they're worth knowing. And I think on a whole, Canadians just have a blast with, you know, Jamaicans and discovering their cultures, their way of life. Their speech pattern, although English is the official language, Jamaicans among themselves will speak patois. So
we equate that to what we call Newfoundlandese. Newfoundlanders have their own patois as well.
Oh, yes. So, always takes me a little while to.
And the people, I do agree with your comment about the people, even from a business point of view. People that we've met and been working with over the years, we consider our friends. And
yeah, you become family. You become family, and there's a wholehearted acceptance, and they will go out of their way to help you out if there's anything. So really, take the time and just chat with the staff at the hotels, or it's worth it. The other great strengths of Jamaica is we're great cruising. destination. There are 3 major ports, being Montego Bay, Falmouth, and Ocho Rios. But in the past few years, we're getting more and more cruise ships stopping at either Port Antonio or Port Royal. So that's something new to discover if you've already done the first 3 ports. So now we have the island, 3rd largest island of the Caribbean, 232 kilometers long, depending on where you are in the island. It'll be like 30 to 80 kilometers wide. It's a mountainous island. So from Ocho Rios, that you can see like on the north coast on the top, all the way to the eastern tip, you've got 2 mountains there that have actually been recognized by the UNESCO. So Ocho Rios is going to be a little bit cooler in terms of weather because of these mountains, a little bit more rain. Also, you'll have tropical forest. Montego Bay will be in the average, and Negril easy up into the 35 degrees. It's just, we call the 3S: sun, sand, and now I'm having a blank moment. Sea. Should remember that. So
yeah,
Kingston,
another point about the temperature that you've mentioned a couple times, and I get that question a fair bit of, you know, when is the time to go that it will be cooler or that it won't be as hot or it'll be too hot, that type thing. And I always mention, and I've done it myself, like to Google the average temperatures in Jamaica, and they're pretty steady all year. Like there's no time of the year where you would go and it would be too cool or hotter than usual, really.
No. And I'll also find, like, as I mentioned, if you're going in the Ocho Rios area, it will naturally be cooler because of this breeze that's coming off the mountain. So that could be another reason why to go to Ocho Rios. So Kingston's the capital. And one of the reasons I'm putting this in the presentation, because it's not really if you want a beach destination, is there's a new highway that's connecting Kingston to Ocho Rios, and it only takes 45 minutes now. So for the past 2 years, we've had some companies that are now offering day excursions into Kingston. And if you're staying a 2-week stay in Ocho Rios, I highly suggest it. There are so many things to see and do. I've only put in a few, which is probably the most popular. So, whoops, going in the wrong direction here. So Devon House, which was the first residence of a Black millionaire, Mr. Steeble. It's a manor that you can visit. It's a beautiful mix of Georgian and Caribbean architecture. But to me, as much as I love visiting the house, to me is you go behind the house and you go get some ice cream at the shop. Scream. So it's the pronoun I and scream, because you will moan on that first bite. They have about 27 different homemade flavors. Have you ever had a chance to taste any of them?
No, have not yet been to Kingston.
But they have shops now on the North Coast, so you'll find them. There's one in Runaway Bay, there's one in Ocho Rios, and I think they've opened one in Montego Bay also. So look out for them. Best ice cream. They also have a little pastry shop and boutique behind that, so definitely worth the visit. And it's just a few steps away from the Bob Marley Museum. So if you're a reggae fan, that is the last residence of Bob Marley with his recording studio. So you will have a chance to go and visit. And Port Royal, which was actually the first capital of Jamaica. So if you've seen the movie Pirates of the Caribbean, it was actually based on the city of Port Royal, where the British Marine had its stronghold. But it's also said that all of the great pirates of the Caribbean, from Calico Jack, Blackbeard, Captain Morgan, actually had their home in Port Royal. So it was unfortunately partially destroyed after an earthquake in 1692, but you can still see the remains of the city. And of course, right between Kingston and Port Antonio, these two mountain chains. So you have the Blue Mountain National Park, which is one of the only national park that you will find in Jamaica. So there are trekking, there's over 15 kilometers of trekking path for bird lovers, for nature lovers, and for coffee lovers also, because Blue Mountain is renowned for its coffee. I think that's one of the
we hear about the coffee a lot from clients. That's one of the things that is a memorable part of their trip to Jamaica.
Yeah.
Coffee.
And they need to know, they need to check for an expiry date, and they need to check that the bag does say 100% Blue Mountain coffee, because there's other areas in Jamaica where they do grow coffee, and sometimes they will mix it together. So you'll have what they call a Jamaican blend.
Okay.
And I'm not a coffee drinker, but according to some friends of mine who are, they can see the difference. So you just have to watch out for that. So the second region, which is Port Antonio, which we call the Hollywood of the Caribbean, as Errol Flynn had bought a house there in the 1940s, late 50s, early 50s, and all of his friends actually came to Jamaica. So all of the greatest Hollywood stars have been in this region, and it's just perfect for ecotourism. It was a region also known for a lot of great banana plantations back in its heydays. But it's amazing. In this area, you'll find mostly small hotels, very intimate. And of course, one of the excursions to do in Jamaica is rafting on the Rio Grande. I'm sure you've done it in the Montego Bay area, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is where it originated. So the legend is that the Jamaicans always use these rafts to bring the crops from their farms to the town. And Errol Flynn would do competitions between, you know, the various captains and all of that. But the legend says that he never came twice with the same young lady. So in order to seduce him, he had the seats installed on those rafts. And the Jamaica Tourist Board thought the idea was phenomenal. And now you will find it on different rivers throughout the island. So you're just able, it's very quiet, as you can see, there's no danger, and the sceneries are just amazing. And of course, in Port Antonio is Blue Lagoon. It's just, the words escape me. I don't, and the funny thing is, it was actually called the Blue Hole, but because of the movie Blue Lagoon, which was partly filmed there, the name just stuck, and it's now called the Blue Lagoon. So Jacques Cousteau in the 1960s actually came to determine the depth of the lagoon, and he wasn't able to do it. So it's estimated to be, I think it's about 61 meters deep. And it is fed with these underground rivers. So you've got this cool water coming from the mountain, this warm water coming from the ocean, and you just have these different levels, and it's just beautiful, breathtaking. Now, Ocho Rios, meaning 8 rivers in Spanish. There's not actually 8 rivers, but there's a lot of waterfalls. So we're still dealing with water, and it's really for the nature lovers. It's for those who like to be on the beach for an hour or two, and then after that, we got to do something. We're 90 minutes away from the airport in Montego Bay. And the beauty of this area is that there's so many different excursions to do that they're all within a few minutes away from your hotel, no matter where you are. So we're just going to look at some of the favorite ones. So what's your favorite one, Lois, in this area?
Actually, Dunn's River Falls is amazing, but I did it as a spectator, not as a participant. But because, as you said, because of the number of attractions in this area for first-time visitors to Jamaica, or for people who are more adventuresome and they want to be doing a lot of excursions, this is the area of Jamaica that we recommend.
Oh, most definitely. So as you mentioned, Dunn's River Falls. So that is 600 meters of falls that you will climb. You'll go up. It's a blast. But one word of warning, do not go when the cruise ship are in the port, because most of those passengers, I mean, Dunn's River almost equals Jamaica. So for the cruise passenger, it's like the thing to do. So those are the days you want to stay away, stay at the hotel quietly, and then on the other days, go and venture out. They've also built a little water park because personally, I don't suggest it for young children because depending on the water levels, if it's rained a lot, the water can be flowing fairly strongly. So, you know, bring your preteens, your teens, no problem. You can go river tubing, lots of fun. The Blue Mountain Bicycle Tour, I had the chance to do it 3 years ago, and I had a blast. I was really worried because I hadn't been on the bike in a while, and I think I pedaled 3 times because what I realized is they bring you to the top of the hill and then you're going down. And each turn is almost a postcard. So that definitely is a fun. And of course, Mystic Mountain, where you have a chance to go bobsleighing. It's really an homage, if you want, to Jamaica's bobsleigh team at the Calgary Games. It's a blast. You're going up what they call the Sky Explorer. For us Canadian, it's a ski chair. So you're going up for 20 minutes, and then you can do a ride on the bobsleigh, either solo or two of them tied together, as you see here. But there's also a restaurant, there's a pool, there's a water slide. They just have also a new thing, the ragamuffin, so that you can do. And then they also have an obstacle course. So you can easily spend a full day there. You've never been, right?
I haven't done that one. No.
Okay. So that's on our to-do list next time I have you.
Absolutely. Yep.
So Yaaman Adventure Park. So as you will notice, there's a lot of things where you can move. Yaaman is actually a plantation, so you can get onto one of the jutneys and then have a tour, discover the allspice, coconut, lemongrass, and all of these things. But you can do ATVs, Dunn's buggy, cooking classes. So they have all kinds of activities that you can do there. So another day of just having fun. And one of the excursions that's located just a bit outside of Ocho Rios, you're going up into the hills, which is 9 miles. Once again, that's for your reggae lovers, your Bob Marley diehard. So 9 miles is actually the village where Bob Marley was born. And you will board this little typical Xeon bus that we call. And then there you will have his whole life, his music, the birth of reggae, if you want. So, and all of the musical influences that he had through his youth and how he came about. It's very interesting. And the scenery, again, you're going up into these lush tropical forests, really worth it. The last one is Green Grotto. So if you like going deep down, it's a blast. And if you've seen the movie Live and Let Die, that famous scene where Roger Moore, of course, is with a beautiful young woman stuck in one of the caves, that's where it was filmed. So do you know, like, there were 3 James Bond movies that were actually filmed in Jamaica? Do you know why, Lois?
I don't.
Because the novels of James Bond were actually written in Jamaica.
Oh, really?
So, yeah, he and Fleming had a residence just outside of, a little bit east of Ocho Rios called Golden Eye. Does that ring a bell?
I've heard of that one. Yes, for sure.
Heard of that one. So just FYI, the latest James Bond, the No Time to Die, which is coming out this fall, was partially filmed in Jamaica also. So look out for it.
Mm-hmm.
So Montego Bay, the complete resort. And the reason we say that, it's because it's all the advantages of the city, from the shopping, the restaurant, the nightlife, museums, historical sites, lots of festivals. Everything is 10 to 30 minutes away. So you really have everything close by. And one of the things to do when you're there is the Luminous Lagoon. It's one of 5 lagoons throughout the world that has this phenomenon. There's a microorganism that lives in the water that when you move the water, it glows. So this is an evening tour that you will do once it's dark. It's about 40 minutes. And you have also a chance to go swimming. And it's just the most odd feeling to be moving that water and seeing it glow this way. So it's nice. Martha Brae River, that's the river you were on, right?
Mm-hmm.
So again, you have a chance to go rafting on the Martha Brae. And the town of Falmouth, I mentioned it earlier, that, and then it's also one of the biggest port. You can either do a walking tour or do the tour in the trolley. You'll have a lot of this Georgian architecture. I mean, this is a town that was built in the 1700s, and Falmouth was actually named for the town of Falmouth, Cornwall. And that was the birthplace of the governor at that time, Mr. Trelawney. So there's a strong, strong British heritage there. So definitely worth discovering.
Mm-hmm.
And you'll find plenty of these great houses in Jamaica. Rose Hall being the most infamous because its last owner, Annie Palmer, was actually killed through a slave revolt. And it is said that her spirit is still roaming the halls of the manor. She actually killed 3 of her husbands. She killed hundreds of slaves. She was known for her cruelty. So you can do the day tour, or you can do an evening tours where the ghosts are guaranteed. Did you do the day or the evening tour?
Actually, I have not been in that house, but I have heard the story many times from tour guides as we went by.
As you went by. So I would definitely highly recommend the night tour. Screams, you'll be, even I've been there 5 times. I know when the chains are coming out, and I still jump and I still scream. So as we mentioned before, there are 4 golf courses in the Montego Bay area. 3 of them are located east of the city. They're just 10-15 minutes away from one another. The White Witch Golf Club was actually named one of the best golf course of the Caribbean by the magazine Golf. So that's worth noting. It's excellent golf. And then Trial is located east of the city. So if you're looking to golf, Montego Bay should be the area for you.
Lots of availability there.
Yeah. And then we come to Negril. I mean, Negril is really our beach destination. It's 90 minutes west of the city, and it's just beautiful white sand beach. There's actually 2 of them. And one thing you will notice in Negril, it's a lot of smaller hotels. Right. Because you're not allowed to build higher than the highest palm tree. So it'll be 3 floors on the whole max that you will find in this area. So the first one is Bloody Bay, which is a 3.5 kilometer white sand beach. And then my apologies. And then the second beach is Negril, which is Long Beach, which is, I'll just keep it off the hook, which is 7.5 kilometers. And you can actually walk from one end all the way to the other. And the beauty of Negril is that everything happens along the beach. So just bring a little bit of money with you if you want to stop for a bite, if you want to stop for a drink, and then you can enjoy and just have fun. So that gives you 2 options because there are hotels on these 2 beaches. And then the third option is you can also have a hotel on the, we call it the cliff, but it's the west end of Negril. So that really gives you, but then there's no beach if you're taking a hotel on this side. There'll be steps that will lead you down to the ocean. It's a different type of vacation, but it's just gorgeous. So sunsets, you're on the western tip of the island. Every night you will have an amazing sunset no matter where you are.
That makes this area a very popular area for weddings.
Yes, definitely.
The photos are stunning.
Yeah, And everybody wants to get married at the end of the day. So if you're getting married, make sure you book your wedding date and time. The time is important, as early as possible. So one of the places to go in Negril is Rick's Cafe, and it's just a blast. Go there around 4 o'clock in the afternoon when everybody is arriving. You'll have catamarans also coming in. It's just crowded and just fun. So you can jump from the cliffs. So there's 2 cliffs. One is 25 feet. The other one is 45 feet. Make sure if you're doing the 45 feet, especially, that you jump in very straight. So highly suggest you wait to have that red stripe after you've jumped. Otherwise, for a few dollars, you can pay the professional divers. And as soon as the sun, the sun hits the horizon, a band will start. There's a restaurant there, and you can just spend the whole evening there. So you've been, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's the kind of thing you need to do once to see those. To see those. No, I didn't jump for sure.
Neither did I. Neither did
but
I.
I'm okay to watch.
That's it. I paid and I watched them dive and I took pictures of them. So there's a beautiful marine park also. So I would say that is one of the beautiful areas where you can go scuba diving or snorkeling, should you want to, in Negril. We also have the Kool Runnings Water Park for those where the beach is just not enough for them. Water slides, also a lazy river. They have go-karts, all kinds of things. And then if you're going like for the strong emotions, and I've always dreamt of driving a race car, that's brand new. So there's a racing track, but there's also, they have behind that, they have quite a few acres of land where you can do zip lining, Dunn's buggy, all kinds of little things like that. So a full fun day. And then the last region is the South Coast. One of my favorite regions for its ecotourism is beautiful orchids, and they really highlight community tourism. So one of the excursion is YS Falls. So instead of, climbing the falls, you actually jump into them hanging by a rope.
I should have sent you a photo. We did our last team fam trip to Jamaica. We actually did an excursion to YS Falls. So my whole team was here, and we have a picture taken underneath the falls. I should have sent that to you for the presentation.
Yeah, we should have included that.
It was a great day.
Okay. So, and not far from there is Black River, which is one of the longest river on the island. And these are mangrove forests along, just beautiful scenery. But more interesting is a chance to sort of visit with some of the 300 local residents of that river, which are crocodiles.
Oh no.
So, you will find them. And then of course, South Coast is the Joyce Spence Appleton Estate Rum Experience. So discover how rum was made 200 years ago, how it is. I didn't know this, but when I was starting doing research for Appleton, they actually use over 10 different types of sugarcane to make their rum. And the reason it was renamed the Joyce Spence is that Joyce Spence is actually one of the first female mixer in the industry. So that is quite an honor. So you'll have a chance to taste all of the various rums that Appleton produce. And there's one rum that you can only buy at the distillery. So if you're into rum, that might be really a tour that you want to do. And the last one, and you're going, what the? Pelican Bar is an institution in Jamaica. So as you can see, you need to take a boat to get out there. And you're thinking it's going to fall over at any moment. And let me tell you, it has survived hurricanes, tropical storms, and it is still standing. And you just go and have a drink, have a blast, jump in the water. It's just something different to do.
It's an icon.
It's an icon. So in terms of accommodation, Jamaica really has it all, depending on what you want to do. Like in the hotel, small hotel, large hotels, quiet, very animated, adults only, for children, EP, all inclusive. There's guest houses, apartments, villas, and then you'll find all of the names that you are familiar with. You can find them in Jamaica. So, and Lois and her team will be able to guide you towards a property that will really meet your needs. So that's it for me.
I don't know if we have any questions posted on our
chat. Let's go see.
Maybe not, but anybody is welcome to reach out to us with questions after the fact, and we would be happy to get back to you with any answers. But this was a very complete presentation, and I certainly learned a few things here. No trouble. So thank you. You're a wealth of knowledge on the research side of things.
So, oh, it's my pleasure, and hoping to see you all in Jamaica soon.
Well, it is on our list that our team is hoping to accompany you to Jamaica as soon as
the
soon
schedule is all. I'm just waiting on you to give me the go ahead so we can start planning it. Might even join you.
Yes, for sure. Okay, well, thank you very much, and we appreciate your time and the expertise you've shared with us here today. We hope to see you soon in Jamaica.
Likewise. Bye, everyone. Stay safe.
Bye-bye.
Bye.